Your heart would die in minutes if your heart wasn't under your if your heart was under your conscious control. You would die in minutes if your heart was under your conscious control. So what's keeping you alive? Hi, I'm Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind. And what I'm talking about here is that there's a whole lot going on that we're unaware of. Now, I'd appreciate it greatly if you would click on the thumbs up button below and choose to, as well as choose to subscribe to my broadcast. Thumbs up to like, and then subscribe. So what I'd like to talk about today is awareness. Too many of us live in a state of being unaware of the world around us. I would guess that the majority of people in our society are on automatic pilot most of the time, if not all the time. They go about their lives in a state of being unconscious or not being really awake. That's because they're doing the same things over and over and over again, day after day after day, to the point that their minds do not have to be engaged. The trouble with living that way is nothing registers on your memory. It all one day runs into the next, and when you look back on it, there was nothing there. When I was working behind the counter at a local gas station, a lot of the customers who would stop in to buy cigarettes or beer were asleep. They were unconscious. Often they wouldn't even look at me. They had other things on their mind. They would look at the rack behind me, the display rack, to identify what brand of cigarettes they wanted, or to reach into their wallets to pull out their credit card. Since it was necessary for them to show me their ID in order to buy cigarettes and beer, when I first look at their ID, the first thing I would look for was their name, then the date of their birth, but first of all, their name. And from that point on, I would address them by their names. What was very interesting to me was their reactions to being called by their name. Often it was like I had shook them awake. When I would address them by name, they would look up with surprise on their face to see who had called them out of their cloud. Then they would begin to respond to me as if I were really there. If they were repeat customers, after the first couple of times that happened, that I was calling them by name, they would come in and expect to be recognized and ready to engage in conversation. And we became friendly. So for a very few minutes, at least during their day, they were awake. Please click on the thumbs up button to like and choose subscribe. So here in these broadcasts, I am seeking to help my viewers become spiritual warriors. Spiritual warriors must first of all learn how to exist in a state of heightened awareness. That is, awake and aware of themselves, their lives, and their surroundings. Because only then can they connect and interact and align with infinite intelligence. Which brings me back to my opening statement. You would die in minutes if your heart was under your conscious control. Got that word wrong. Was under your conscious control. So what is keeping you alive? Let's talk about your heart. Our heart beats over 101,000 times a day, pumping more than 2 gallons of blood through thousands of miles of blood vessels in every 24-hour period. Our lungs inhale and exhale about 12 or 20 times a minute, which over the course of a day, 24 hours, is over 17,000 times a day. So ignoring all the other things that are going on in your body, that what your body is doing automatically, and there are millions of functions going on, and just concentrating on your hearts and your lungs, face this fact. If you suddenly had conscious control of how your heart and your lungs operate, you would be dead in minutes. Think about that. Imagine having to remember to breathe. Not only to breathe, but to breathe thousands of times a day. I have trouble remembering where my keys are. So the idea of having to remember to breathe thousands of times a day is overwhelming. So what is keeping us alive? Please click on the like button, please. So unless you have chest pains or you're in a doctor's office, you usually don't think about your heart beating. And unless you have trouble breathing or you're having some other breathing difficulties, you really don't, like being behind a mask these days, you really don't think about your lungs and what they're doing. We generally take it all for granted. We breathe, our heart beats, and we don't have to be involved. That is infinite intelligence at work. That is infinite intelligence at work. That, my dear friends, is love. When are the times you're aware of your breathing and heartbeat? Think about that. Your comments are welcome. When are you aware of your breathing or heartbeat? I would think most of the time, never. But there are instances where that awareness comes in focus. So let me know. The key here is that infinite intelligence is not some abstract concept that doesn't really mean anything to you or has no connection to you. It has very much a connection to you. Infinite intelligence is what's keeping you alive. Infinite intelligence is not some far-off overseer that you can hide your naughty thoughts from. Infinite intelligence is in the center of your being, keeping your heart beating over 100,000 times a day, keeping your lungs inhaling and exhaling over 700 times an hour, regulating your digestive system to break down and distribute whatever you swallow out to the trillions of cells that make up your body so they can continue to operate and reproduce. And then directing your body to take what it doesn't need and convert it into disposable solids and liquids that you can get rid of without even having to think about it. That's infinite intelligence. We may say that we don't believe in miracles, but our bodies are a miracle in operation every single minute of our lives. Now, I'm not asking you to get focused on your body and all the details of its operation. First of all, it's too much for the mind to handle. And secondly, we have other more important things to do with our minds. But this serves to get us aware that our bodies are functioning in a super mind-boggling, complex, operational way. And that helps us to do a couple of important things that I think we need to pay attention to. The first important thing is infinite intelligence is here, right now, in our consciousness, right now, right here. Two, thinking about your body in this way and the complexity of your body and the fact that it's operating without your input opens our minds to the possibility that the vast infinite consciousness that can cause stars to be born in distant galaxies, vast fields of tulips to bloom in the Netherlands, and beautiful though they are, then keep the planets revolving around our sun and the tides rising and falling in Australia, that infinite intelligence would involve us itself, with us tiny little human beings on this tiny little planet on the outskirts of the Milky Way galaxy. That's quite a thought. Infinite intelligence is there. Not only is infinite intelligence there, not only is infinite intelligence involved with us, infinite intelligence is us because it exists in all places and at all times. It is both within us and all around us. And this intelligence, infinite intelligence, is both personal and universal. So there's a subjective free will consciousness. That's the individual awarenesses that we call me. And then there's the objective consciousness, which is the universal awareness of all that is. That's responsible for all life. So we are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. We are infinite intelligence expressions. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. We are infinite intelligence expressions. Infinite intelligence is all there is. Our minds are part of the one mind, the one great mind, the universal mind. Our ideas, our imagination, our direct connection to infinite intelligence. And because we are all expressions of the universal mind, because we're all expressions of infinite intelligence, because we're all expressions of cosmic consciousness, we are all connected. We are all connected. We are all connected. We all exist in this vast sea of consciousness. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. Please click on the thumbs up button. Choose like, and I hope you subscribe. So as spiritual warriors, we are open to this connection. As spiritual warriors, we welcome the energy that flows through us and uplifts us and heals us and expands us. As spiritual warriors, we know that we are centers of power and influence because we are awake and aware. Awake and aware. We know that our bodies are surrounded by an electromagnetic field that emanates from us. And since we're not asleep, our electromagnetic fields radiate out several feet from our bodies, influencing those around us. On the other hand, those who are not conscious of this, those who are asleep, have an electromagnetic field that is lower in power, in scale, and amplitude, and it exists closer to their bodies, and therefore has less influence on the environment and on those around us. So we as spiritual warriors, through awareness, immediately turn on a greater electromagnetic field. Now, scientifically, there are reports from a number of studies into the active, energetic communication by the heart, which is also referred to as cardio-electromagnetic communication. Now, these reports tell us that the heart can actually influence the people in its environment, that is, close to it, a few feet away from it. Now, according to one of those studies, which was conducted by the Heart Math Institute, it has been established that the heart is the most powerful generator of electromagnetic energy in the human body. The heart is the most powerful generator of electromagnetic energy in the human body, producing the largest rhythmic electromagnetic field of any of the body's energy. Now, this heart's electrical energy field is about 60 times greater in amplitude than the electrical activity generated by the brain. You know, we have brain waves, but the waves generated by the brain don't go that far out. They're pretty close to the head. But the heart expands out with its electromagnetic field several feet around us, especially if we're awake and we're aware and we're conscious of who and what we really are. And when we know that infinite intelligence is working through us, it really expands and intensifies the power of our heart field. Now, this field can be measured by an electrocardiogram and detected anywhere on the surface of the body. Not only that, this magnetic field produced by the heart, I said the brain was close, the heart energy is over 5,000 times greater than the field generated by the brain. And it can be detected a number of feet away from the body in all directions using magnetometers. So this research, I find it exciting. This research shows that electromagnetic signals generated by the heart have the capacity to affect others around us. And there have been tests to show that there is actually an effect that the heart of one person can affect the heart and brain of another person, and that they can be brought into sync through their electromagnetic interrelationship. So we know that we can affect others around us, and we know that if we open to it and accept that infinite intelligence is working with us and through us, we feel great. We feel empowered, actually. And when we feel empowered, because we can influence others around us, they too will feel empowered. When we know that as we feel love, those around us can be affected, and they too will feel love. We know that this effect is infinite intelligence working through us because we're all connected. We're not separate beings, we're all connected. And so, infinite intelligence, in its most basic, is love. It's love, it's love, it's love. Infinite intelligence is love. Please click on the thumbs up button below. So being a spiritual warrior requires discipline and focus. But, first of all, it requires being awake and aware. Awake and aware of who and what you really are. Our responsibility is to be. That's it. To be. To be. That's what we're responsible for. To be us within ourselves. To allow ourselves to be the highest and the best that we can be. We are divine instruments of infinite intelligence. And our mission is to be a center of light in the world, a center of light and love, serving as beacons of light and love to those who are lost, seeking to find a way out of the darkness, seeking to find a way out of that world of anger, greed, jealousy, hunger, poverty, ego. It's a dark world. It's a dark world, and it's closing in on so many people, and so we are vastly outnumbered, I will admit that. Vastly outnumbered. But we have something that can overcome, because a light in the darkness is so powerful. You know, in complete darkness, you can light a candle a mile away and it will be seen. The light from a candle a mile away will be seen. Our example will do that. Our example will be a beacon of love and light for those seeking a way out of the darkness. It's not our job to search out others. Our job is to be, and our love and our light will show them the way. It's not our job to try and convince others to change. Our example of being love, of being at peace, at being happy, will serve as an example, and they too will want to come and be in that space, and they too will want to come and experience that love. Spiritual warriors. If you have any questions or thoughts, please share them with me in the chat section on the side of the screen. And I'll respond in my next broadcast. love. Infinite intelligence is love. So let's get to work. Let's get to work by getting into a space of quiet peace and by breathing slowly and deeply, being aware of our breath as we do this, but being quiet, slow, at peace, generating the peace of love. And I'm going to ask you to repeat these affirmations with me. Number 1, I am an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. I am an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. I am an individualized expression of infinite intelligence. Number 2, I know that infinite intelligence is expressing in me as me. I know that infinite intelligence is expressing in me as me. I know that infinite intelligence is expressing in me as me. Number 3, starting now, I am open to infinite intelligence, and that connection will elevate my life. Starting now, I am open to infinite intelligence, and that connection will elevate my life. Starting now, I am open to infinite intelligence, and that connection will elevate my life. Number 4, I know that as infinite intelligence energizes me, I will in turn become a beacon of light unto the world. I know that as infinite intelligence energizes me, I will in turn become a beacon of light unto the world. I know that as infinite intelligence energizes me, I will in turn become a beacon of light unto the world. And finally, number 5, I now move forward with peace and love. I now move forward with peace and love. I now move forward with peace and love. Thank you. Thank you, Infinite Intelligence, for bringing all of us together in this life so that we may join in the work that we have come here to do. Thank you, Infinite Intelligence, for bringing us into this space of awareness so that we can feel your presence within ourselves and within our lives. And as we feel your presence within our lives every day, we know that our connections will grow stronger and our inner light will become more powerful to elevate our lives to be happier and healthier and more prosperous as we serve as beacons, beacons of love and light in the midst of darkness to those who are seeking a way out to the truth. Thank you, Mother, Father, God. For this we are very grateful. Thank you, Infinite Intelligence. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. As above, so below. As within, so without. And so it is. Amen. I'd appreciate it greatly if you would click on the thumbs up like button below and choose to subscribe to my broadcast. If you wish to make a donation, please click on the logo in the lower right-hand corner of this video. Then click on the gray support button on the right side of the screen. I am Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this has been On the Wings of Your Mind. Thank you, and have a great day.